Welcome to Barkhausen Nature Bites. Today we're talking about this critter I have in my hand right here, which is a monarch butterfly. This one's just a monarch caterpillar, not quite an adult yet, but I did have an adult here earlier, full disclaimer, and I was trying to hold it, be very gentle with it. It just emerged from the chrysalis, in fact, and it flew away, which is what they're supposed to do. So I don't have an adult one to show for the video. I'll have some pictures a little bit later, but I do have a caterpillar. I did ask a coworker to help me find a butterfly. Where's a butterfly? And they just threw a stick of butter at me, so that didn't work out so well. Okay, that might be a little bit of a stretch there. So monarchs, a lot of fun facts about them. For the adult monarchs, if you're kind of curious if it's a boy or girl monarch, one way you can tell is look at its wings. On the lower part of its wings on either side of the body, if you see a black dot, I'll call them a boy beauty mark, that's a boy. The boys will have two little black dots on the lower parts of the wings with thin veins kind of overall on their wings. The girls will have a little bit thicker veins, those little lines on the wings there, and then are also not going to have that black beauty mark, just two little black dots on the lower part of the wings. They're pretty enough as it is, they don't need them. So the adult monarchs, they're going to be eating nectar from a variety of plants, not just milkweed. The caterpillars, however, are solely reliant on the milkweed plant. The milkweed plant is toxic, but the caterpillars can tolerate that toxin, and they can actually store it in their bodies, which makes them not so desirable to eat for other predators. So it's really handy adaptation to kind of help them out. So the life cycle of a monarch starts off as an egg. The female monarch's going to lay about 300 to 500 eggs over a 2 to 5 week span. And she's not going to lay them in big groups. It'll be individual eggs by themselves, very, very small, underneath the milkweed leaf. And sorry, the geese got distracting there for a second. And they'll lay them underneath the side of a milkweed leaf. And after a little while, those eggs are going to hatch out. You get some caterpillars. The caterpillars are going to eat like crazy, grow like crazy. It turns out that book, Very Hungry Caterpillar, is factual. They're very hungry, eat like crazy. And you can imagine if they're eating like crazy, they're also doing something else a lot, which is pooping. So if you ever raise monarch caterpillars, you know what I'm talking about. You leave quite a bit of mess there, and it's a lot to clean up, kind of like little kids sometimes. So after about 2 weeks, the caterpillars are going to go into the pupa stage, and they're going to form a chrysalis. And after about a week or two after that, they're going to emerge as adults. Now the adults themselves are going to live about 2 to 5 weeks unless they're born later in the summer or early fall. Those adults, they're actually going to be the ones that migrate back down to central Mexico. Pretty much all the monarchs here east of the Rockies are going to migrate to central Mexico. So there's millions of them that overwinter down there. Next spring, those monarchs are going to work their way back up here. However, those monarchs aren't actually going to make it back up to Wisconsin or wherever they're going to go. They're going to go a little ways, they're going to mate, lay eggs, die. Their kids might make it up here, or maybe their grandkids or great-grandkids. It sometimes takes 4 to 5 generations of monarchs to actually make it back to where their spring and summer destination is. So it's really kind of crazy to think about that the monarchs that are born later in the summer and the fall, when they migrate, they've never been to central Mexico before, they don't know where they're going, but they can actually use the magnetic poles of the earth, sense that magnetic field, almost like a compass to figure out where they're going to go. So it's really kind of amazing to think about the journey of a monarch butterfly for sure. So I think I'm going to get this caterpillar back out there. You can see it's pretty hungry. It's eating some leaves right now like crazy. Thanks for watching Barkhausen Nature Bites.